Welcome to this week's Movie Math, giving you an in-depth analysis of the box office for the weekend of November 30th, where audiences continue to enjoy leftovers from before Thanksgiving. That's right, while your old turkey won't last more than a week, Twilight, Skyfall, and Lincoln topped the box office for the third week in a row. With something for everyone, this trifecta powered last holiday weekend to a new record for Thanksgiving, and this weekend is still outpacing last year by a whopping 45%. Previously, I'd said the final Twilight would match the 700 million worldwide hauls of its predecessors, but since it blew past 700 million this weekend already, expect it to finish close to $1 billion. Meanwhile, Skyfall is pretty much guaranteed to cross the $1 billion mark at this point, practically doubling the worldwide hauls of both Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. That would mean 2012 will contribute at least 4 films to the $1 billion club, more than any other previous year. And with The Hobbit and IMAX 3D on the horizon, it will probably be 5 movies. As for Lincoln, it's on a totally different scale as it approaches the 100 million mark. While the film is yet to open internationally, which isn't surprising considering its subject matter, it has passed the domestic hauls of Spielberg's 2 previous films, Warhorse and Tintin. However, Lincoln has become Daniel Day-Lewis's most successful showing here in the US. If you're wondering though, adjusted for inflation, The Last of the Mohicans is his most successful domestic film, while Gangs of New York is his most successful film worldwide. Yes, we'd just love to see him act out the history of our country. Imagine if he and Kevin Costner made a movie together. It would be like the American History Avengers. Wasn't there a movie that opened this weekend? Oh yes, looks like Killing Them Softly lived up to its name, making hardly a whimper as it was dead on arrival at number 7. This was Brad Pitt's lowest debut for one of his films in wide release since his first starring role way back in 1992 with Cool World. And of course, adjusted for inflation, this is still worse. Nobody should be that surprised though, considering that his last collaboration with Andrew Dominik, which opened in limited release, only grossed $3.9 million total. At least that flick walked away with Oscar nods for Best Supporting Actor and Best Cinematography, but with this year's overcrowded race for the gold, I don't think Pitt and Dominik will be getting any last-minute saves. There was also The Collection, the horror sequel to 2009's The Collector, which opened exactly on par with the original. Seems the flick didn't gain any audience, but didn't lose any either. As for the rest of the box office, the Thanksgiving crop of movies have yet to find their turkey legs. The biggest failure is Rise of the Guardians, which is Dreamworks Animation's biggest flop since they were making 2D movies. At this point, it's even doubtful the pick will reach the century mark, which will be devastating for a film with a $145 million price tag, not including prints and advertising. That's too bad, as word of mouth on the film is quite good, but from what I've seen online, the consensus seems to be that Sons of Anarchy Santa is what's turned off most moviegoers. Why haven't you seen Rise of the Guardians? Then there's the 100 million Life of Pi, which is only halfway to breaking even. Unless Life of Pi gets a slew of nominations, this flick, along with Cloud Atlas and last year's Hugo, could very well end the era of the expensive prestige pick before it really even begins. It's no real surprise that the Red Dawn remake has failed to take off, but what is surprising is that Silver Linings Playbook actually dropped by about 20% this weekend. Still in just limited release, the Weinstein Company was hoping to use the laws of supply and demand to help build awards buzz, but there doesn't seem to be much demand. It will be interesting to see how this affects the film's shot at the gold, although many are saying the Best Actress race is pretty much all sewn up for Jennifer Lawrence anyway. As for this coming weekend, the sole new release, Playing for Keeps, is expected to do even worse than Killing Them Softly. So, have you seen Twilight, Skyfall, or Lincoln? Or you could always throw your support behind one of these poor Thanksgiving movies. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.